Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions on Betcraft. Okay, today is another beautiful day, morning, and as we know, there's always games going on across the globe. And even though we are actually on international break, but there's always a little more few games that are going on across the globe. So among these games, we'll be able to select a few that we looked into, before bringing it forward for you. Okay, right. Before we move on, I want to take this time to say out there that today is actually my birthday. Your best wishes are actually in order. All right. Before we move on, I want to ask those of us who are actually coming across our video for the first time to kindly take our time to hit the subscription button so that you don't miss out on our subsequent games that will always come up on this very channel on a daily basis. All right. That being said, all right, let's head to the business of today. And today we'll be starting with the very first match for today, and it is in England. You know, League Trophy, League Trophy. We will have you know, Peterborough United coming up against Stevenage. Okay, as usual, we'll take a look at how these two teams have fared in recent times and as well as the performances from home and away perspective before we'll be able to make our verdict on each of these matches. And looking at Peterborough, the home side, they've actually won two games in the last six. They've had also two draws as well as two losses in the last six games that they had so far. Stevenage, on the other hand, their away side, have been able to manage three wins. That they've lost two games, but they've had one draw in the last six recent encounters for their away side. When you look at how these two teams fared from home and away perspective, Peterborough, the home side, have won four games from home. They've also had, three draws as well as three losses in the last 10 home games that they had, and the away side, on the other hand, Stevenage have managed two wins from away, and they've also had three draws, but they've lost five games in the last 10 away games that they had so far. All right, that tells you a lot about this side, not the best side playing from away. And Peterborough, and when you look at how these two teams went from head-to-head perspective, you can also see that last time they met, it was Peterborough who played from home, and they won that very match by 2-1. And we also saw Peterborough last prior to that, that was earlier in the year, around March, defeating Stevenage from home again by 3-1. And when you put all this together, we expect to see a result for the home side, Peterborough, to achieve a result against this very side. And our verdict for this very encounter is actually the home side to win or draw and under 4.5. Home win or draw and under 4.5. That's our verdict for that very game. That takes us to the next, and it is in England also. But in England League 2, where we have Fleetwood Town who will be up against Barrow. Okay, Fleetwood Town in the last six have won three games out of those six games, but they've also had three draws as well. They didn't lose any match in the last six matches they had. And the away side, on the other hand, Barrow have won three games out of the last six, but they've also lost six. They've also lost three out of those. So they've won 50% of the last six matches. They've lost 50% as well. And when you look at how these two teams are fared from home and away perspective, because if Fleetwood Town playing from home have done, fairly well, winning five games out of the past out of the past, 10 matches that they had. And they've also had four draws and one loss in the last 10 home games that they had so far. All right, that tells you that this team is actually a bit better in some way. Looking at their away side, Barrow have actually managed to win three wins from away, but with one draw, and have lost six matches in the last 10 away games. As a matter of fact, the last three away games that they played out so far have resulted to a loss for Barrow. All three games they lost all three games. And looking at how they fared in the last time they met, it was 2 years ago. It was a 1-1 draw that they had on that occasion. But in this very one, we expect Fleetwood Town, who have not really lost any single match in the last six matches, have only managed to lose one game in the last 10 home games that they have so far. We expect Fleetwood Town to achieve a result against this Barrow side, and it is the home side to win outright in this very encounter. That's our verdict for that very game. And that takes us to the next. It is in Slovakia, where we have Rača, Slovakia Cup. We'll have Rača coming up against Partizán, Bardejov. All right, when you look at the home side, Rača, they have won three games in the last six. They've also had three draws as well. They've not lost any single match in the last six matches that they had. And the away side, Partizán Bardejov have managed to achieve two draws in the last six, but have lost four out of those six recent matches that they had. And when you look at how these two teams fared from home and away perspective as well, you can see that for the home side, Rača, they've actually won five games in the last 10 home games that they have so far. They've also had five draws as well. They've not lost any single match in the last 10 home games that they had so far. And when you look at the away side, on the other hand, Partizán, Bardejov have actually managed to achieve 2 victories in the last 10 away games. They've actually had 2 draws as well, but have lost 6 matches in the last 10 away games that they had so far. So when you put all this together, it is the home side Rača that we expect to achieve a result in this very match, seeing that they've not really lost a single match in the last 10 home games that they had, and but it is actually the home side to take the day home win outrightly. That's our verdict for that very game. All right, and that takes us to the next for the day, and it is in the Women Champions League match where we have Chelsea women who will be up against Real Madrid women. Okay, and when you look at recent games for both sides, Chelsea women have won the entire 6 games that they had in the recent past, and they've also not drawn any match, not lost any single match in the last 6 encounters. When you look at the away side, Real Madrid women also the same, winning the entire 6 matches that they had. They've not drawn any or not lost any match in the last 6 recent encounters. When you look at how these two teams played from home and away perspective, you could see that playing from home, Chelsea women have actually been able to manage 7 wins in the last 10 home games that they had. They've actually lost 2, but with 1 draw out of the past 10 home games that they had so far. And then we look at looking at their away side, Real Madrid women have actually been able to manage to achieve 9 victories in the last 10 away games that they had. And they've also the other one being a draw. That tells you how dominant this team have been in recent time, winning and almost all the matches that they had in the last 10 away games so far. And looking at the head-to-head results for both sides, you can see that the last time they met, it was a 2-1 victory for the Chelsea side. Within the Real Madrid side. Also prior to that, we saw Real Madrid women, playing a 2-2 draw against Chelsea women in the prior to that very meeting. So that tells you that this very meeting, produce lots of goals, and in this very one, we definitely opt for goals verdict in this very one, seeing that those two teams are quite doing very well at the moment, and we expect to see a minimum of 3 goals appearing in this encounter. It is an over 2.5. That's our verdict for that very encounter. Okay, that takes us to the next game, which are going to be the last for today. It is in Japanese Cup, where we have Nagoya Grampus who will be up against Yokohama Marinos. Okay, the home side, Grampus have actually managed to achieve 4 victories in the last 6 matches that they had. They've also lost 2 out of those, and on the away side, on the other hand, Yokohama Marinos have won 2 games, but have lost 4 out of the last recent 6 games that they had. Okay, and when you look at how these two teams are fared from home and away perspective, you could see that the home side, Nagoya Grampus have won 5 games in the last 6 matches, in the last 10 matches actually, and have lost 4 out of those, but 1 draw as well. And looking at Yokohama, the away side, they have actually won 4 games in the last 10 away games, and also they have lost 6 games out of those. And as a matter of fact, quite noticeable is the fact that they lost the last 4 away games that they had. The last 4 away games that they had resulted to a loss for their away side. And when you look at how they fared from head-to-head perspective, the last head-to-head result that they had was Nagoya Grampus, who had a victory against this side on that occasion, a 2-1 victory. And prior to that, we also saw them playing out a 2-2 draw. And in this very one, it is quite logical to expect the home side, Nagoya Grampus, who actually won the last meeting between this side, to achieve a result once again against these very Yokohama Marinos. So it is the home side to win out shortly in this very encounter. That's our verdict for that very game. All right, and that brings our predictions for you today on Betcraft to a conclusion. And I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope that you can go green. Remember to also play responsibly. These are just football games. All right, there's no absolute result. There's no absolute prediction anywhere. Anything can happen in these games and change the course of the entire game. All right, that being said, tomorrow is another day. We'll be coming up with our predictions, and until then, keep winning.